Hi, my lovely spectators. Dee here. Welcome to my studio and welcome to this paper again. So through Mass Make March, I'm just working through a paper pad that I just want to like get rid of. I got it because it was it gave me that initial junk drive, junk journal, junk vintage vibe, blah blah blah. But you know, there was a lot of it. I think each one of these things, pages, was like 4 or 5 sheets. So I'm making another item that I can use in the junk journals. And so we're going to cut up the paper and I'm going to show you what my idea was. And, you know, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to give it a go. So I have 4 of these sheets, which is the 4 styles, right? So it was like 4 times 4 or something like that. That's 16. So then no, a little bit more. But there were a couple of other sheets, I think, but they're gone already. Like they're wood or something like that. And I also got some bright ones so that I could have something, because in my head, like I've been talking about here and there, if you've seen other videos, little golden books need a little pop of color, in my opinion, and that's my vibe. So in either case, a little golden book is generally about 8 inches tall, and a good frame of reference for some journals are 6 by 9. So these guys we're going to do 8 inches tall, and these guys we're going to do 9. So let me just do that first, because then the rest is going to be the same. All right, let's see if I can just cut this down. Right, I could cut this to 9 in case I wanted to use it in a regular journal, but I think I know I'm going to use it in little goldens. And with these 4 papers, I'm going to get 8 belly bands. You're going to be like, what are you talking about? So let's go to 8 inches, right? And it's closer to 7 and 3/4. So maybe I'll do it, let's do a 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to cut off this 7.5, and this can be used another day. It'll pop up some other video. All right, so I have that. Okay, and then the next thing I need to do is turn it and cut it to 6. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have this. Now this of course is not a belly band, but we're going to turn it into one with an intention. These guys I'm going to cut to 9. So let me look at the orientation. So up and down, okay. So yeah, so orientation is there. So I want to cut these to 9. So maybe cut them to about 8.5. Something like that. No, 8 3/4. Let's do 8 3/4. Okay, and we're gonna see this again, hopefully for the last time in another video. And then we're gonna turn it again, the same thing like we did over there, and we're gonna do it at 6. Okay. So, what was my intention? Well, I'm not getting rid of this yet, but I am trading out this guy here. I need a score. And what I was thinking is that a belly band in general sits on a board, right? Sits on your paper, and you slip things under it, and that's all it's there for. There be people have, you know, people have embellished them and stuff like that, and so I thought it might be interesting to make it into another journable, another journable, no, another journaling moment. Is that a word? Did I just make up a word? And by doing that, see, this paper it's thickish, but I don't know. I think I need to get rid of this and go to yeah. I need to get to one of these. Except I don't know what my big one is, so we're gonna have to work with this, and we'll figure it out because it's not that much longer. So I did it at 2. I did it at 4 because this was 6, and basically we're doing this, right? Okay. So I think that's it. So my idea is now I see that I need to adjust some of the measurements, right? Because I hadn't done this before. We're doing this together. This is an idea. If we put it there, right? Of course it's popping open. We need to do some kind of, how do we close it, right? But it could open up and allow for more journaling space. So the thing is that I didn't take into consideration, so we're learning from this experience, that this 2 and 2 and 2, they're gonna hit into the corners. So I need to adjust, right? I want them to open in this way, right? Like that. And so we can put an eyelet here and maybe wrap a piece of string that goes down around it. Any way we want to do a closure, we'll look at that later. So let's adjust my thinking, okay? So we could just do this. We could just score them at 2. All right, let's get all the scores at 2. Okay, much better with this ball. It's not, doesn't feel like it's cracking through. Okay, let's score it at 2. And that's also going to be for the other one as well. And this is regular angled. We could do rounding of the corner, so we'll take a look at some of those options. So again, we're going to score. Now, no, I'm not going all the way down, but I'll have enough of a score that's going to allow me to finish off the rest in the right order. In the right order? That's not the word I'm looking for, but the right way. I don't know. Why do we people, we, me, I, yeah, whoever, why do we sometimes think of words and we mean one thing, but something else comes out of our faces? I don't know. Okay, so, yeah. So this is, like I said, it's just another way to add some fun, some interactivity, right, to our journals. So once that's done, this is how we're going to figure out the other piece of the pie here. Let's close that up. We're just going to fold up. It's going to fold up to there and then bring that down to finish off the rest. Okay, so let's just do all of those. Okay, I'm going to finish off the rest. Super simple, right? It's going to be plain and basic except for the decoration of the cardstock, but you can add to it. I've seen people who have taken belly bands, added pockets to the front, and whatnot. So my thing is, you know, I'm adding that pocket. I'm adding in hidden journaling, hidden journaling or journable space. That's not right. Anyway. So yeah, so we just want to get that second one. So the reason why I'm saying we're going to get that first one, we know that that's 2, right? I think 2 is a relatively decent width of a belly band. When we go to do the next fold, we're going to fold it into itself so we know that it's not going to hit the seam here that we're burnishing right now. Okay, so let's finish. Oh, let's finish up. Okay. So my friends watching me, hello. Let me ask you, some of my videos, well, and even this one probably, I don't complete everything in the mass make. How you feeling about that? I feel like sometimes if it's so repetitive that maybe it's not worth making you sit there because you'll jump out and then leave my channel to go someplace else, which is fine. That's your prerogative. But, you know, we're always thinking about analytics, right? I want to be seen. I want to be seen. So there was our first. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the next piece, which is this one, and press it in to the seam that's here, right? The seam that's here. Make sure that it's pressed in, that it's not coming out on the sides, right? Oh my goodness, it's kind of hard paper, so yeah. So pressing it there, it's not in the seam, and then finishing it up. Okay, using the edge to keep yourself straight. Okay. Okay, so now we have one that will lay flat and doesn't have that bulk on the seam, and it's there and it's pretty close to the edge. All right, so let's do all of these. So again, bringing it in before the score line, line up to the top and the bottom, because that'll help you keep it all nice and square, and then smooth it down. Okay, and then when you close it, nothing's blocking. There you go. So let's do all of these. It's so funny, like these two pieces of paper feel so different, and I could have sworn they came from the same pad. So all right, you know, when we finish, I'm gonna Google journable. That's what I'm thinking about as I'm folding, right? It's like, hello. You know, let's say we need to find a place where we're like, words we make up, but we all know what I meant. So, oh my God. So this paper is kind of much thicker, so it is harder to maneuver, but don't rush it because you don't want to have extra creases in a thick cardstock, right? Okay, so we're almost done with the fun and flighty ones. Okay. So, okay, I didn't quite, but I already creased it. So we're going to see that this one's a little bit wider, but that's fine. Okay, on to this one here too. So it doesn't mean that you can't decorate on here. You can totally add something to the flap that's already there. Maybe a tab might be interesting. So we'll do a couple little things like that on a few of them just to get some ideas going. But the base is the mass make, I would say, right? And this concept of trying to have some place hidden in a belly band that you can actually journal. Now you may say there's things behind it. Well, then take them out and then write on the journal, then write in it, then put the things back. I don't know. All right, there we go. All right. Oh my God, I'm warm again. What is with me? Let's see. My house says it is 66 degrees. I don't know. My feet feel a little cold. But up here, I mean, come on, right? How could me folding paper cause me to be warm? That's no bueno. Okay. So I've been asking the same type of questions here and there in the videos. I have been pre-recording, so I don't know when this is coming out, but it is coming out during March. So you may have heard me say this yesterday, and you maybe haven't heard me say it yet, but who have you been watching? If you've been watching someone specific, have they done anything that you've never seen before? Something interesting, a nice little twist? I know that I personally wish that I could come up with some really unique things, and so that you would feel that there was worth value coming to me, or I could be just as silly as possible, and maybe that's bringing you joy. I don't know. Yeah, so I know that I am watching, I'm saying it knowing that I'm pre-recording, but I know what I'm going to be doing is each weekend popping on that playlist, not playlist, but like searching up the hashtag, and then watching as many of the videos, you know, that come up that people have put the hashtag into, and hopefully, you know, see my friends, the people that I know, the people that we follow all the time, that are the big names, of course, will probably maybe participate. But the little channels, because I'm all about celebrating and supporting those little channels. So hopefully, if there's a little channel that's doing this, you know, let me know. I would love to check them out. You know, give them a subscribe, give them a like, throw them some watch time. Anyway, all right, so we're down to the last one. Okay, and again, right, just making sure that everything is lining up nicely and it doesn't stick out. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I constitute that as a mass make situation. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do in terms of closure. So let's take let's see, let's take one of, I think this one, 2, and let's take 2 of this one, and we're gonna play with some closures, some ideas that were spinning through my head. So I'm gonna grab some ribbon from my pile that I have over here. Okay, I have this one that might go with that. I have this string that's metallic, that's fun. We'll use it to sample. I also have a silver, so maybe we'll do that. I don't know. You know, right now I'm making one for us to look at. Oh, maybe this as well. But the rest can be, you know, other things. Okay, do I have another one of those? Oh, I have some of this rack. Okay. So what we'll need is some of these corner situations, right? Because maybe we do a corner situation. I just got this. Let's baptize that one. And we will need a hole punch, which I'm gonna just have my crocodile right here. All right, so let's start with something like basic. So let's say we have this guy here. Woo, flipping. And let's grab a corner. Do we want the big one? I don't know why I don't like the big one that much. So we're gonna just corner around the top, just because. Okay. And then we have our belly band, right? So it's not ready yet because it's gonna lay there and it's gonna be open. So one of the things you could do, yes, I'm searching up for something else, would be to maybe even add a Velcro dot. I think a black one might be too stark, so let's go and grab a small one. Let's just grab a little set. Let's keep some out. All right. So one might be sufficient enough. Two might be better. We'll see how one feels. Where's my scissors? I have such a selection of scissors. I don't know what to do. Okay. And then we're going to separate that. Okay. So let's see here. Let's say we put one. So we look on the sides. I make sure that their circles are lined up perfectly, right? They're not askew from each other. I try to figure out which one is the rough one and which one is the puffy one, the soft one. Meaning, I'm going to open this up here and open it here. So my hand might brush up against this one. So then I might want for this one to be the smooth one, because then the rough one is going to be facing down. I'm also noticing that these corners, so think when we opened up and we see, we're going to get those corners inside here as well. Okay, so now we want to put it here. So a lot of people, and I think what I've learned is when you're putting these down, let me get the fluffy side. Where's the fluffy side? Okay, the fluffy side is uncovered. Hold up, right there, right? People want to put this down and thinking that on the edge is really like, you know, on the edge. I feel like you really need to go in a fair amount. A couple of reasons for that. It's paper. It's holding on to paper. It's good adhesive. So you're going to wind up possibly ripping the paper because you're holding on a little tiny edge trying to get this thing to lift. So I found that if you put it a little bit further back, right? Okay, then it will be more beneficial. So now we uncover the other one and we fold it over and we do that. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the last thing that we could do to this, but that is the closure. We can add other decorations on here and stuff, but that's one way you could close this. So now when you have a little bit more of a handle on it, then it's a little bit easier and it doesn't, I don't think it stresses it. So there's one way you can close this bad boy up, right? I don't think I'm gonna put another one on that because I think that more than one is not the best way to go. Okay, the next thing we can do is we can put a circle, a hole rather. So we can grab our hole punch, try to find the middle, try to go in an okay amount. So I went there. All right. You know what? While we're here, let's get an eyelet, because opening and closing you really need to have. Where is the thing? Oh, there was one in here. I don't know what happened to it. Let's pick any color. It doesn't really matter right now. Okay, and we're going to put the eyelet into our little bad boy here. Now, sometimes people, these are not We Are Memory Keepers eyelets, and sometimes people have a hard time. What I've found in my experience is that when you put your little thing in there, make sure when you're looking at it, look at the side, and that little divot that comes down is seated really well in the back of the eyelet. If it is, for the most part, you will have a really good. If you rush it, no bueno. Okay, so let's do a different shape here. Let's do a tag shape. Why not? Okay, it doesn't like 3. Well, we're gonna make it like 3. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just pump it good. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm pumping that. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we have another belly band with a different shape. Let's look at the other side. That got hit good. All right. Okay. And with this one, we're just gonna take some twine. Right, and we're going to. We don't need a lot of it. Right. We just want enough that will go around a couple times maybe. So I would go and see if that is good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. You know, you can do a little more, and then you have the little waste, and you can keep it and put it in your little stash for clusters. That's all fine and well. All right, so now we're going to put this bad boy in here. Okay. We're going to pull it through. Okay. And so now you have that. I would then wrap it around, and then I would put it down here, and that's going to be how my closure is on my belly band. Okay. And when the person goes to open it up, they'll open it this way. This will still be against the paper, like that. Okay. It could write, if it's in their way, they could move it, whatever, they could bring it down, whatever. So that's another option for closing one of these bad boys up. Okay, so there you go, just like that, real simple. You can even put a couple of beads on there just to dress her up. But there we have. I'm not going to use these two, but that's 2 ways we can do it. Let's fancify these guys now. So with these, let's pick another fun little something. So let's do this guy. All right, and that's just giving me this little dip. Okay, and this one's going a little bit, I think, easier. It's a little sharper because I don't use it as often as the tag or the rounded, but it is already dulling down. So we have this one. So this is one thing we can do. Okay, let's make the shape on this bad boy. Let's round this one as well. Let's do the big round. I want to try this guy out. So the R10, right? I just got this because the other one is giving me a hard time. Let's see. Okay. Oof. Ooh, la, 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 la. Ooh. Hit me in the face. Anyway, all right, so let's put the punches away because we're done with that right now. Okay, and so how can we secure these? We can secure them the same way. We could do Velcro. We can do a whole one of these things like that, and we could also possibly do a closure up and down, right? So let me see. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So let's see if I can make it happen. All right, 1 second. So what I would do is I would hole punch back here, down here. And I would hole punch down here. More or less in the same spot. And then I would take something thin and fun like this possibly. Right? Let's grab some of that. It's all twined up. Okay, where is the beginning? Where you at? Where you at? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put it doubled back here in the hole, right? And we could do it this way and put it back there in the hole. right? And then it would come out on this side, right? So let's do that. Sorry guys. I'm trying to figure out which one goes in and out, right? Okay. So we can do that, right? And then we're going to be gluing those guys down. And then when it is on the belly band, when it's on the paper, we can then just, let's see here. Where's the other side? Oh my gosh, I can't see. Sorry, scissors. One of these a little fluffy, too much fluffy on this one, right? And then we can just take this. Now, of course, you'd be able to move your book and position it and all that good stuff. And then, you know, bring this down, bring this balance before you glue it down. And then once you glue it down, I'm just holding up my hand. You could close it up. Oh my God, isn't it the way we don't know how to draw a bowl when we are trying to show something, right? So we can just do a fun little bowl, right? Like that. And the belly band is kind of held close and we see this little fun little thing. Oh, it's a present. Let me open it up. And you open it up and then you have more journaling space, right? And so what I was thinking was you could do it that way, but you could also, since I was messing with this, right? Let's say we come in from the back, right? Go across the center, right? In through the hole back here, on top here. All right, let's go. Come on, paper. All right. Right. And then when you glue it down, right? Make sure you catch the glue on this. You have another little tiny interior hidden one, and then you can still do your little outside present. Right? Wouldn't that be? That's so cute. You can get a couple of things. You can get a belly band with some journal space looking like a present, and then inside you also have another little belly band string. Okay, I missed the two things. Yes. Okay. There you go. All right. Of course, you would cut it off as you see fit, and that would be what you would have there. All right. Let me see if there's any other way we can do this bad boy. I mean, in all honesty, you can just basically figure out where you have to cut it, right? Turn this guy over, right? Grab a piece of tape, affix it on the back, and just cut just do a regular old little bow. There you go. Here's your belly bands. Here is your belly bands. Alright guys, so you can mask make this, and here's your closure experiences and stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed my little crazy. I think I was more or less in target of the camera. I didn't use this because you can do the same thing with this. So, you know, whatever string you have, but you can have your little belly band taped down, a piece of string, simple closure. You can get a little fancy with another interior string belly. You can do it Velcro style, right? You can have ruffles off of here. You can put the ruffles over here to balance out the flavor of it. You can bring this here, add some beads to that, right? You can do some other decorating, maybe a nice floral that goes up here. So, you know, it's also a canvas for more. So if you're new, you've enjoyed my little processing of some mask making of belly bands. And again, you know, you cut them down to whatever height you need them. You need 6 inches to make this width, which I think is a nice width. You will have scraps, but in reality, you know what? We use scraps all the time. And you can get 4 You can get 2 per sheet of scrapbook paper. So I used 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 3 sheets, 4 sheets, 8 sheets, and I got a whole lot. Taliban 16. Anyway, if you're new, please consider subscribing and sharing a comment, giving a like. If you've been here before, thank you again for coming and validating my shenanigans. You can also comment and like, and that would be fabulous as well. But until next time, I shall see you. Ciao, ciao. Bye.